Hey guys, Gizmodit here, and I don't know about your 2018, but it looks like Xiaomi is off to a great start with the Redmi 5. Now, if you're feeling out of the loop, Xiaomi announced the Redmi 5 last month in China, and although it's not available in India so far, I managed to import one unit for this review. It was a hassle, I had to pay double the price of this phone, but all of you guys loved the content about the Redmi 5, and I was the first one to unbox it, and I'm probably the first one to review it in India, so that's great for the channel. And if you feel like supporting and watching more such exclusive content, then go ahead, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Now let's come back to the Redmi 5. So this phone is a successor to the Redmi 4 and it's expected to cost under 10,000 rupees in India. I've been using it for 2 weeks now and I've really loved using this phone so far. Being an entry-level device, I wasn't expecting the Redmi 5 to be much of an upgrade from the Redmi 4, but honestly it's much more than a minor incremental update. And that's evident as soon as you pick up the phone. Gone is the old 5-inch panel and what you get now is a 5.7-inch 18:9 1440x720p display. Initially I was a little skeptical about the resolution being too low on this phone, but then in day-to-day usage, I barely felt like it was a 720p display, and Xiaomi actually has done a good job with it. The colors look nice on it, it can get really dim and adequately bright, plus the off-axis visibility is good on the screen as well. Along with that 18:9 display, Xiaomi also opted for the on-screen buttons this time, so it renders the chin area of the phone pretty useless. So it looks a little weird at first, but then you do get used to that empty area at the bottom of the phone. They could have put hardware buttons there, but they didn't, and that's one design element that I and a lot of you don't really like. Talking about the design, the Redmi 5 is built really well. It's sleek, solidly made, and it's very reminiscent of the Redmi Note 4. In fact, from the back it's identical to that phone, plus the 18:9 display on the front makes it seem like an expensive device. A lot of people asked me about the Redmi 5 while I was using it, and they all were shocked to know that this phone is going to cost just around 10,000 rupees. So yeah, the design of the phone does strike a great first impression. But what about the performance? Last year's Redmi 4 was a really good performer, but it wasn't quite there yet, and that was one of my concerns with the Redmi 5 as well. But this time Xiaomi has put in a better CPU and a GPU, plus with MIUI 9 on board, the Redmi 5 feels very fast and fluid. I've rarely faced any major lags or slowdowns on this phone, plus the phone could easily handle anything I threw at it. Facebook, WhatsApp, Snapchat all worked great on this phone, and the RAM management was decent as well. It wasn't extremely good or bad, but it got the job done. The phone also plays all of the games very well, so if you're into gaming, the Redmi 5 can handle that as well. Everything was really smooth and fluid on this phone, and to be honest, I really loved using it. I still haven't taken my primary SIM card out from it, and it has been a good experience so far. That doesn't mean I've not had issues with this phone. First of all, since this phone is from China, I had to install Google services from a different app, and although they work almost all the time, there are instances where the Play Store displays an error and then I have to relaunch it again. It's not a major issue, but then the thing is, it's MIUI handling all of the system tasks on this phone and not Google. So that led to another major issue where the apps wouldn't give me push notifications. Then I realized that the Chinese ROM restricts background activity of apps. So you need to go to security and then allow apps to auto start and disable the battery saver. After that, everything was working without any issues. And one last issue that I faced was that Snapchat wouldn't record videos from the back camera. It can click photos, the front camera can click photos and shoot videos, but the rear camera would fail to record videos. So that's something I didn't like. Even the Facebook app used to crash sometimes, but then I was facing a similar issue on some other phones that I've recently reviewed. So I don't think it's the Redmi 5's fault. You also get a bunch of apps in Chinese that you're better off uninstalling from the phone. So all of these issues are more or less a software thing, so I'm guessing they should go away as and when Xiaomi launches the global stable ROM for this phone. As of now, the Chinese ROM runs on MIUI 9.2 that's based on Android 7.1.2 Nougat. It's your typical MIUI 9 software where you have a lot of features like split screen, dual apps, scrolling screenshots and so on. There are also news about the iPhone 10 like gestures coming to this phone, so when that happens I will totally make a video about it. Xiaomi's done a really good job in optimizing MIUI 9 because it runs very fluidly on the Redmi 5. I've barely felt like I was using a 10,000 rupee smartphone, and Xiaomi should definitely get credits for that. One other area where Xiaomi deserves a little credit for is the camera of the Redmi 5. They've improved on it from last year, and as we have seen from my camera comparison videos, it is better than the Redmi Note 4. The front facing camera is decent as well. It also has an LED flash this time. That's not very useful, but it's there and it does an okay job. The video recording sadly is capped at 1080p, so no 4K recording yet on the Redmi 5. They are linked in the description box. Finally, let's talk about something that everyone got concerned about when the Redmi 5 was announced: battery life. The Redmi 5 comes with a 3300 mAh of battery, which is 700 mAh less than the outgoing Redmi 4. But it also has a more efficient 14nm CPU, so the battery life has actually been pretty good on this phone. I'm easily getting a day out of it, and that's with heavy usage including 4G data, music streaming, a few calls, Google Maps, social media, YouTube. So yeah, it can get you through your day even with a heavy usage. Medium users will probably go for a couple more hours, so I'm happy with the battery performance on this phone. My screen on time were anywhere between 5 to 8 hours depending on how much I was pushing the phone and whether I was on data or Wi-Fi. Charging this phone is also not a hassle. Since the battery size is relatively small, the 2A charger can top the phone up within 2 hours, which is great. So all in all, the battery life is totally not an issue on the Redmi 5. Don't worry about it. The network and Wi-Fi reception was solid as well. 4G and VoLTE do work on this unit even though it's from China, but sadly it's a hybrid SIM tray, so you have to choose between two SIM cards or a SIM card and a memory card. The Redmi 5 also gets all of the sensors like gyroscope, auto brightness, sensor, compass, and even the IR blaster, so Xiaomi hasn't skimmed out on that. But it does miss out on NFC and 5GHz Wi-Fi. Overall, to conclude, the Redmi 5 exceeded my expectations as a budget smartphone. Considering that it will be launched under 10,000 rupees, it offers some really solid value for its price. It's got a great design, premium look and feel, great performance, good cameras, impressive battery life, and it's definitely worth the money that you're paying for it. I honestly loved using this phone, and I don't really feel like taking my SIM card out from it. I hope Xiaomi launches this phone in India really soon, and till then, if you can't contain your excitement about the Redmi 5, then I've already made a lot of videos about this phone and I will be making a couple more, so please check those out on my channel. That's it for now. I hope you guys loved this review, and I will be back with some more awesome content soon. Peace.